Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lexi and this is Beyond the Mirror. Today I am going over 3 of my panning projects. The first being my project 10 uses. I pick 5 products that I have to use at least 10 times. The second project is my project samples, where I pick 2 samples from hair products, skincare products, and body care, and I have to completely finish those. And my third is Pan That by Fall, where I have 2 products that I'm trying to finish before fall of 2025 ends. Let's start with my project 10 uses. I have 5 products. Last month I had a lot of new roll-ins, so I'm really excited to share my progress with these items. The first product was my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick, and this is a mini, and I am so impressed with how many times I've used this since last month. So this is it all the way up. I am so impressed. I have this tiny little nub of a lipstick left, and how I've been reaching my uses with this one is actually using it as a blush. It actually goes a long way, and I am just surprised and shocked by how many times I've used it. The goal was 10 uses and I've used it 20 times since last month. I do count each cheek as 1 use because I do have to reapply, so I guess I've worn it a total of 10 times, but that still reaches my limit. This is in my project 25 by 2025, so I am going to keep working away at this, but it will be rolling out of this project. The second prompt is a Gilmore Girls inspired one, Suki's Kitchen, a fun or vibrant product. So I chose a perfume, Oh So Days, and this one is the Pears and Patchouli scent. It smells so nice, but I didn't reach my goal of using it 10 times. I've used it a total of 5. I think the biggest issue is that I store it elsewhere from most of my products, or at least the products I'm using daily. I have this under my sink with my hair products, and while I usually am reaching for a hair product, I tend to just forget this one. And I think I should for sure reach that goal by next time. If not, I could do it in a week. I just forget. So I need to put this somewhere where I can see it because object permanence. So that one is staying in for today. The third prompt was also Gilmore Girls inspired, and it was a classic product. So the one I chose was a MAC lipstick in Velvet Teddy, and I have used this 10 times. It is a mini, and I do feel like I've been trying to work through a lot of my lip products recently. So I feel that's part of why this just got the bare minimum uses. But I still really like this lipstick, and I am excited to see what I roll next. The next prompt was a spray, so I chose my iconic London Prep Set Glow Spray. This one is really pretty. It has kind of this shimmer running throughout. I actually used it today. I had done my makeup earlier in the day, and then to reset it, I just dampened my beauty sponge with this, and then when I was blending out my foundation that I had reapplied, I was using this to kind of help smooth it out and move it, and I just love the glow that it gave me. I always forget about this product. Sometimes it can be too glowy, but I did a lot of layers, more so of just like putting it into the palm of my hand and then working my brush and product onto the face. So I really like how that came out, and I think that's how I'm going to end up finishing this. I'm at 8 uses, so while I haven't reached that goal, I still have some ways to go, and I am excited to have some more fun with this product. The last prompt was something hyped up, so I chose my NYX Lip IV, and I believe the shade I have is Hydra Honey. These are stunning. I love how glossy they are. These are probably the most glossy looking lip glosses I've seen, but it's also a lip tint, which I have been obsessing over lately. I feel like I wear a lip tint almost every single day, but for some reason I'm not reaching for this one. I guess there's 2 issues to why I'm not using it. I think the first one is because I have so many lip products I'm trying to use up, or I have usage goals, and it's just been so difficult in trying to remember my rotation for everything and making sure it all gets used, as well as having fun with the fall lip colors that I want to wear. Then the second thing is that it is so glossy, and that can make it kind of hard to say like drink something or eat. And I'm also not the best about reapplying. So this one is the lowest usage for today's video out of 4 uses, but I do think that I can get this used soon. I have some other lip products where I've been playing around with them for a little bit, so I think it's a good time to start using this one again. So for project 10 uses, I have 2 new roll-ins. I'm going to pull up my wheel and I'm going to pick 2 new prompts. Then I will go pick 2 new products. All right, here we go. I am spinning the first roll-in and the prompt is a single shadow, okay? I'm going to remove that prompt from this list and then pick another one. So my second prompt is packaging you hate. So I'm gonna go pick 2 products for those prompts and I'll be right back. I just picked those products. The first one for a single shadow, I chose my Natasha Denona I Need a Warm palette single, and the shade is Dynamism. It is this really pretty copper to kind of green shade. I pulled this out for my Shop My Stash for fall, and I feel like I've only used it maybe 2 times. So I think this is a great opportunity to make sure I get some use on it before it starts getting really cold. It's already super cold, but once it starts snowing, I'm gonna want to move into more frosty colors, kind of what I went for today. It's just how I feel with how cold the weather is, but I think it's still some time to wear some nice warm golden shades. And for the second prompt, I rolled Packaging You Hate. I actually chose this little lipstick sample from Dior. I got this in like a packet of 6 from Sephora. I think it was like a free gift with purchase. And I like that they give you a lot of product, but I absolutely hate this, where you just kind of have to peel it back and dip a lip brush in there. Looking through the packaging, I can kind of see through it, kind of where the lips are. So I'm hoping that 10 uses will use this up, though I'm a little unsure. I have a lip liner brush, so I've just been like dipping it in there to apply, but it makes it really hard to reapply later in the day. But I'm hoping that 10 uses, I can use this. Let's shift gears to my project pan by fall. I have 2 products where you guys chose for me which ones I should completely finish. Technically one is pan for fall, the other was just one I had grouped along with this. So the product you guys chose was my NYX Buttermelt Bronzer, and the shade I have is Buttercup. And I'm very shocked by how big the pan has gotten. So I'm going to try and find a photo from last update, but look at the size of that pan. It is really spreading to the walls. And then looking in at it, it looks very sheer and close to the bottom of the pan where there is product left. So it's been a little harder to wear this because, like I said, it hasn't been very sunny. It's been very cold. So I just haven't been in the mood for blush or bronzer, but today I'm wearing a little bit kind of like in the corners, more of like a contour bronzer shade, and then I'm not wearing any blush, which is so surprising, but I think that's how I'm gonna get this product to work. To finish it in time is just wearing it as a blush or a lower contour shade, but I'm very excited for this to be done. I am going to miss it because I love it so much, but I'm happy that something that I got pretty recently I finished so quickly because I really enjoyed it. The second product that you guys chose was my NYX Bare With Me Concealer Serum. I just noticed that they're both the NYX products, but this is my progress so far. And I don't know if there's something goofy with mine, but I feel like the pump isn't working as well because it's been stuck down here for a while. And I just feel like there is a ton of product missing. That kind of happened last time as well, so I do need to make a new mark of where it is. And this one I've used a total of 84 times since I've been tracking it in this project, which is still mind-blowing to me. I've been looking at this and some of my foundations that I've been trying to finish this year, and I'm wowed by how many times I've used it and just how long it takes to finish certain products. So this one, I kind of mentioned last time, it's slightly too dark for me. I'm wearing this as a foundation today and I feel like it's okay, but sometimes it can oxidize and sometimes it looks slightly too dark on me. So I'm gonna keep chugging along as much as I can, though I might need to switch up concealers once it gets very cold and there are no sunny days, but I think I can still keep using this for a while. And then the bronzer I used a total of 30 times since tracking it. Now let's move on to my samples project. I have 6 products, 2 are hair care, 2 skincare, and 2 fragrances. Let's start with the hair care. Last month I chose 2 products. One was a hair mask and then the other was a hair treatment. This is actually not the correct treatment. I had chose a different Olaplex mini, but I could not vibe with it. I wasn't using it. And then I found this in my drawer and I like this one. So I've kind of just swapped them out. They're about the same size. So this one is almost empty. I mean, there's a lot of air in there. I feel like maybe 2 more uses and it should be done. And then the hair mask I have is from Trader Joe's. This was from a holiday advent calendar I had gotten. And I think there's about 1 use in there. Maybe just enough for my ends, but it's fine. I think I actually used it only once. It smells nice and it's pretty thick and moisturizing, but I mean, it kind of just seemed like any old hair mask to me, and I already have a favorite one that I know does a really good job, so I don't know if I would repurchase this one, but it is nice to finish these products. For skincare, I had a little single-use hyaluronic acid sample. I believe the brand was Good Molecules, and then the second product I chose was actually a mini, but it's like a deluxe mini, and this is from Peter Thomas Roth, the Pumpkin Enzyme Face Mask. I did finish the sampler pretty quickly, and then I also realized that I actually had that product, like a full size of that product, and I feel like I had been using it wrong. I had the little sample pack and I really loved that, and I was like, I swear I've used this before. And I actually had one in my drawer, and I remember why I kind of forgot about it. I love that stuff, but I was eating through it so quickly. Like, I had got it and I thought I was gonna be done with it in like a month or 2. So I just stopped using it, and I have rediscovered it and I've been using it most days. I'm having kind of like a dry skin flare up at the moment that's been lasting for like a week or 2. And that has been saving my life in just layering moisturizing products. So I'm happy that I rediscovered that product. Now, the pumpkin enzyme mask I have only used a couple of times since rolling it in, and I fear it might take a little bit longer for me to finish it. I'm still going to keep it rolled in, but I have been having a lot of dry skin lately. Like I said, gone on a new retinol as well as a new exfoliator, and they're both intense in the best way possible, but I feel like my skin just cannot handle that much exfoliation. So I think I'm going to be alternating. I was doing it once a week for using the exfoliator, but I think I will alternate the next week of using this face mask when I feel like I need to exfoliate. This one has a really great scent and I have enjoyed it in the past, but I just need a little bit of an extra push for this one. I had so much success with finishing a little sample packet last time. That is what my new roll-in is going to be. I have this like single-use packet of Super Glow Screen. I have used this one once before, but I wasn't really sure how I felt about it. I felt like it pilled with my makeup, but I don't recall, so I'm going to try this with, I'm going to try and make it work for 2, one with one of my more finickier foundations, and the second one with just a foundation I like. If I can get a third use, I would like to see maybe how this looks just with some concealer. For fragrance, I had one from Replica, which is Autumn Vibes, and then I had, I think, Rubin Gold or a Million, one of those. And that one I finished. I really enjoyed that one. It just smelled expensive. It smelled really good and kind of like musty in a way. But this one, oh, I don't like Autumn Vibes. It is just too smoky for me. And like I said, I like Replica by the fireplace, but this is not for me. But I have like 1 or 2 uses left. So I'm just gonna roll in 2 new ones because I need something different. And I think having something else will motivate me to finish that other one. So the 2 that I'm rolling in, I have YSL Myself. I don't know what this one smells like. I swear they send these to you like half empty already. And then the second one is Jo Malone Frangipani Flower. And I actually have 2 of these. I don't know how. I feel like Sephora just wasn't updating what their freebies were, but I have 2 of these, so I want to see what it's all about. If I don't like it, I can give the other one to somebody. If I do, I can use it. That concludes my updates for my 3 mini projects. This is the last update before my final verdict for the year. I will do one last roundup video showing my progress, but I won't be rolling in new products. In the start of 2026, I'm going to kind of go over everything and which projects I want to focus on. I feel like I've been a little overwhelmed with how many different projects I've been tracking, and I want to kind of streamline it. I think I'm still going to do my samples project just because I have a lot of those, especially from Ulta, and I think it is a fun incentive way to finish those. I also like the setting goals for seasons, so I might do that instead of having my project 10 uses. Look out for a poll that I'll be putting up to get your opinion on which one you would rather see, or if there are other projects you would like me to work on next year. Thank you so much for watching. If you like project planning content, please make sure to check out my channel. I have so many different projects going on, and I have been switching it up, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!